Hello friends, in this video let us see while loop. Okay, while loop is used to execute the set of statements repeatedly as long as the condition is true. If the condition is false, then while loop terminates. So it is also somewhat similar to for loop only. The only thing is here the syntax is different here. Okay, uh, while loop is also used to execute a set of statements again and again until the condition is true. Once the condition becomes false, then a control comes out of that while loop. Okay, see the syntax is like this: small letter while, while, okay, which is a keyword. So after that condition, this condition will be either relational expression or logical expression, so which gives the result in terms of true or false. If the condition is true, statements within that body of while loop will be executed. Otherwise the control comes outside. So usually the last statement in this while loop, that is a statement n, will be or maybe the increment or decrement statement. So after that, control goes back to the condition and again checks the condition whether it is true or not. So based on that, it again executes the statements or else it comes out of the loop. Yeah. The flowchart is like this. So in diamond, condition is checking, and if the condition is true, statements will be executed, and after that the control goes back to the condition. Once again it checks the condition. If the condition is true, again the statements will be executed, and again control goes back to condition. So again, if the condition is true, statements will be executed, the control goes back to condition, and if this time the condition is false, then the control goes to next statement of while loop. Okay, like this the execution of while loop will be accomplished in a C program. So while is a keyword, condition is a relational or logical expression. So first the condition is tested before executing the statements. So if the condition is true, then the statements will be executed, and also loop index will be updated for next round of repetition, that is next iteration. Okay, this process continues as long as the condition is true. Once the condition becomes false, then while loop stops or terminates. It is also called as a pre-test loop because condition is tested at the beginning of the loop itself. So if there is no any stopping mechanism like any condition, then while loop enters an infinite loop. So here when we are stopping or when the control is coming out of the while loop, only when the condition is false. If there is no any condition to stop this while loop execution again and again or repeatedly, then the control or this while loop execution will enter in an infinite loop. It means continuously it starts execution of statement 1 to statement n, and it never ever stops. Okay, so here also after the while loop and while and condition, do not use a semicolon. So take care of these all syntaxes very carefully. Okay, so here it is called as a pre-test loop. Keep it in your mind, this is a pre-test loop because pre-test means before execution of statements only we test the condition here in the first step only. Okay, so it is called as a pre-test loop. uh, so it is also called as while do statement. Why it is called as while do statements? Because before doing execution of statements, first we check the condition which is present in a while statement. So this is called as while do statement. Okay, Next statement is there, that is do while statement. Okay, that is do while statement means its name itself is telling that first you do the execution of statements at least one time. After that, go back to while condition. Now you check the condition. If the condition is true, then only again for the second time you execute the statements, and again go back to condition. If the condition is again true, then again execute the statements for third time. Like this, execution of statements will be keep on executed. But for the first time when these statements will be executed, at that time condition is not checked. Simply the statements will be executed, and at last we check the condition. Based on that condition, we go to second iteration and third iteration and so on. So before starting the first iteration, second iteration, third iteration in a do while loop, the statements will be executed at least once. So here first we execute the statements for one time, for the first time, then we test the condition. So it is called as a post test loop. So this is the main difference between while loop and do while loop. So we will see that do while loop in the next page or in next video. So first this you concentrate here. This while loop is pre-test loop. It means that before execution of statements we test the condition. So it is called as pre-test loop, and also it is called as while do statement. So while means first test the condition, do means after that, after checking the condition you execute the statements. Okay, here one best example is there where we can use this while loop to find out the sum of digits of a given number. One number is there, it may be your mobile number or your Aadhaar card number or anything. So these all digits we have to add them. Okay, so hash include stdio.h int n, and one more variable I want, that is temporary variable, then sum is equal to 0. Initially we assume that sum value is 0, and open the main function, enter one integer value should contain some n number of digits in that integer number. Okay, then scanf read that number percentage d and percent n, and temporarily store that integer number in one temporary variable. So here we are storing that n value in a temp, and while n is not equal to 0, if it is not 0, then calculate the sum. How to calculate the sum? This is the main logic of this program. Sum is equal to sum plus n percentage 10. Whatever the number you had entered, you divide it by 10 and find out the remainder. That remainder will be added to sum, and the complete RHS will be added to left side or assigned to LHS, that is a sum. Then divide that n by 10, and again whatever the RHS value you get, you assign it to LHS, that is n. Then close the while loop. Now in the second statement of body of while loop, that statement is n is equal to n divided by 10 here. It means that we are updating or modifying the value of n here. So the same n is in our condition also. So after this execution of n equal to n divided by 10, we get one new value of n. You take that new value and go back to condition and check again that condition in a while loop. If again that condition is true, then enter inside the while loop and again execute the statement sum equal to sum plus n percentage 10, and n equal to n divided by 10. Again take this condition, go back to again take this new value of n and go back to condition, that is n is not equal to 0, and again if it is true, then enter inside the while loop and execute sum equal to sum plus n percentage 10, n equal to n divided by 10. Again we get one new value of n, take that value of n and go back and check the condition once again. Suppose this time if the condition is false, then you come out of the for loop, that while loop. That statement is printf sum of digits of percentage d is equal to percentage d. First percentage d is nothing but the value of number or the value of temporary variable temp. So temporarily we have stored that initial value of integer in temp, and second percentage d is sum. So close the main function. One more program is there, whether to find out whether the number is palindrome or what. See, palindrome is nothing but a number, integer number. When we reverse that number, we should get the same number again. So if it is so, then that number is called as palindrome. So the best example is 1 to 1. Okay, 1 to 1, when we reverse it again we get 1 to 1, and 1551, when we reverse 1551 again we get 1551. Like this, some integer numbers, when we reverse them again we get the same number, that is palindrome number. So palindrome strings also are there, not only integer numbers. So palindrome strings are alphabetics, sequence of characters, alphabets. Okay, for example, madam, madam is there. So when we reverse this madam again we get the madam. So this is also palindrome. One more example is there, that is Malayalam, Malayalalam. When we reverse it again we get the Malayalam only. So it is also palindrome. One more example is Gadag, Gadag, Gadag. Okay. When we reverse it again we get Gadag. So these all things are palindrome strings, but here we are interested only in palindrome numbers, not strings. Okay, this program is to find out whether the given number is palindrome or not. To solve this problem I need some 4 variables here. Hash include std you write that preprocessor statement and declare those 4 variables here as int remainder reverse or reverse number is equal to 0, and temporary variable temp, or else you can take it as a duplicate, and one more is num. Okay, that is number. So open the main function. Now we will see, enter the number percentage d ampersand num, and temp is equal to num, and while number is not equal to 0. From here that actual logic starts. So first store or assign that number in a temporary variable. Okay, in future we want this original number, but now in execution we may need to change or modify or update the value of num. So better we will store this number value in some temporary variable temp. In while loop num is not equal to 0. If it is not equal to 0, then calculate. First step is 3 steps are there, you remember these 3 steps. First we should calculate the remainder of that number when we divide it by 10. So remainder is equal to number percentage 10. So after calculation of remainder we should calculate reverse of that number. How to calculate reverse of that number? Reverse is equal to reverse into 10 plus remainder. So just now whatever the remainder we have calculated, we should add it to the multiplication of reverse number into 10. Then in a third step we again modify the value of number or num, like num equal to num divided by 10. Now we get one new value of num. So you take this new value of num and go back to condition of while loop, that is num is not equal to 0. If again that condition is true, then enter inside the while loop and calculate the remainder once again, then calculate a reverse number once again, then calculate a number once again. Now we get once again a new value of num. Take this new value of num and go back to condition again check the condition. Suppose this time condition is false, now come out of the for loop, while loop. In out of the while loop, one if condition is there. That if condition is temporary is equal to reverse number, temp is equal to reverse. If both are same, so whatever the number we got after reversing the number, that is stored in reverse, rev. Okay, so if it is similar to temp, it means our original initial integer number was stored in temp. If both of these numbers are same, then we can print a statement that is percentage is d is a palindrome. Percentage d is nothing but temp or duplicate. Okay, then else is percentage f. If both are not same, then percentage d is not a palindrome. Palindrome percentage d value is nothing but a duplicate value or a temporary value. It means that it is original number entered by the programmer, is not a palindrome. Now you close the main function. Okay. One more example is to find out a factorial. So here also we are going to use the same logic whatever we have used in the for loop, but the only change is here we are not using for loop, we are using while loop. Here also we are going to do some initialization and some condition checking, and also increment or decrement. Increment we are going to do here also, but only the thing is syntax is different here. There we used a for loop, here we are using while loop. Hash include stdio.h int I is equal to 1, num fact equal to 1. Initially we assume that factorial is 1. Open the main function, enter the number percentage d ampersand num. If number is equal to 0, so it is universal truth that factorial of 0 is 1, so fact is equal to 1. Else means number is not equal to 0. At that time you do the initialization like this in else part, that is I equal to 1. After that check the condition, while I is not less than or equal to num, then fact equal to fact into I, then I plus plus, close the else. Okay. Here in the second statement of while loop, I is incrementing I plus plus. You take this new value of I and check the condition, I is less than or equal to num. If the condition is true, and then enter inside the while loop. So if the condition is false, you come out of the while loop and you come out of the else part. So there you will print one statement, that is factorial of percentage d is equal to percentage d, that is num comma fact, and close the main function. So factorial calculation is same formula what we have used in for loop already, fact equal to fact into I. The thing is here in for loop we executed only this statement, there only one statement, but along with this statement in while loop we are executing one more statement to update or increment the value of I plus plus. So that is done in the last statement of while loop. Okay, in next lecture or next video we will see the execution of do while statement.